I I can't. I can't. I really do not want to tell this story, but I'm gonna tell y'all this story. One of my one of my defining moments in my life, that one of my traumas, and then it's also one of my biggest fears that I've never talked about. And I want to know y'all opinion. I notice a lot of sisters on my IGTV, so y'all comment below and let me know what you feel. So, for anonymity purposes, I'm going to give this other individual, going to be two people, me and another individual that is a woman. And I'm going to give her a different name just to, keep her privacy. I'm going to call her Mary. So, long time ago, about probably like 9 years ago, started talking to a girl named Mary. And Mary was not a stranger to me. We went to elementary school together. I grew up around her brothers. Her and her brothers all went to elementary school together. We were very familiar with each other. And throughout that time, we weren't close, but like I said, we all knew of each other. When we got to high school, towards the end of my high school career, me and Mary started talking. I believe it started with a Facebook message or something like that. And because I already knew Mary from elementary school and all that, so we had a kind of a history built up, she kind of just naturally became a person I can talk to. And I for her as well. So we started hanging out. Next thing you know, fast forward, we end up in a relationship. Relationship was great when it started off. And then what I noticed was I was Mary's first legit boyfriend. And not first legit boyfriend as in just the guy she, doesn't introduce to her family and all that. Like I was the first guy to meet the family for real and all of that, like everything. And shortly after I met the family, side note, I don't get in between family business. Okay? If my woman is my woman, I will have her back to the fullest, but family business is family business. You know what I'm saying? So, back on topic. So, somewhere in between when we first got together and when I met the family, I guess because I was the first individual that she brought home, they felt some type of way about that. Now, like I said, I had grew up with her brothers and stuff like that, so they already knew of me. So there was somewhat of a tension, but they knew that they couldn't just, get one over on me like that. There was no intimidating me. So, there was always a tension. I never understood why. There just was. And shortly after the tension started, she began to have arguments with them, with her family and her parents and her brothers, everything. And when that started, then I kind of got put into it too. Because they're saying, from what I can see, they don't like her dating. But, it's that same old story. I'm the first guy she's bringing home. So, naturally, instinctively, they're going to have some type of opinion about that. So, we're going through all of that. And one night she calls me and she's crying hysterically and she's just going through it. And I'm trying to calm her down. Mind you, she lives about 30 minutes walking distance from where I lived. So I told her, just calm down. I'm on my way over there. We were real young. I didn't have a car, none of that. So I'm walking over to her house. So she ups and leaves their house. I don't know if she was just leaving, like moving out, or what the heck was going on, but she left and was walking in the middle of the night by herself. And I'm trying to rush to get over there to her so she's not walking in the middle of the night by herself. Meanwhile, well, no, not meanwhile, but when I get to her, she's on the phone with her family and they're arguing, but they're arguing about, I don't know. Like, half of it sounds like they was arguing about me. The other half of it sounds like they was just arguing because she was being a little bit rebellious, because I feel like because I was the first guy and they know that I'm the first guy, and now she's doing this whole rebellious thing because she has a boyfriend. It was just a mess. So her brother, I can hear her brother on the phone talking crazy. So I take the phone from her and I'm on the phone with him. And he changes his tone to, oh, well, I'm glad that you're out there with my sister and she's not walking by herself and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, appreciate it, cool. So we go back to my mom's house. My mom's at work. My mom worked at the time from like 6 to 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So this was like 10 o'clock at night. So we go back to my mom's house and I'm like, man, I don't understand what's going on. I don't know. This is my girl. I'm going to have her back. So she said she didn't want to go back over there. She didn't want to go back home. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, we can sleep here till morning and then we can go, I don't know. I don't know, but you can't stay here because my mom go kill me. You know what I'm saying? So we slept, we woke up, we left before my mom got back home. And it's a little bit of a blur. I don't remember what happened exactly after that, but I remember she ended up going back home. And everything was fine for a little bit. It was fine. I went over there a little bit. It was back and forth. Everything was good for a little bit. Then another argument happened. Still don't know what they arguing about. And somehow my name gets thrown into it again. I don't know how. But it does. And this time she has a car. She had bought I think it was a 94 or something like that, Mitsubishi Diamante or something like that. It was a raggedy car, man. That thing was toe up. It was a junk car. But that was her car, So she decides she is going to pack up and pretty much live in her car. And I'm like, man, what is going on? What is going on? Like, I don't understand. Now, me being me, I'm a ride or die type of person. So, I know that's a watered down statement. Everybody say that, but I am. And this is how you know I am. So when she tells me she's not going back, this, that, and the third, she's done with this, all of that, I'm like, man, god dang, man. I'm like, all right, well, come get me, right? So she meets me at a gas station right up the street from where my mom lived, called the AM/PM. And I'm talking to her in the car, and I'm trying to get her to reconsider and change her mind and all this stuff. And she don't want to go back there. So I'm like, screw it, right? I'll spend the night with her wherever we end up at. She says she gonna go get a hotel room. So I'm like, all right. Like I said, we young at the time. So at this point, I'm just going along with whatever just to be there for her. So she goes, gets the apartment, and we spent the night in the apartment for the night. After that, we ended up, after that, she ended up going back home again. And then after that, another argument happened. And then this time, she left again. This time, she didn't go back. And I'm just like, man, I don't know what to do about this, man. I don't know what to do. At the time, me and my mom was getting into it over her and, stuff like that. And not just over her, but trying to figure out where my life was headed at the time as well. And I'm like, screw it, man. I don't really want to be at the house I'm at either. But it wasn't because I didn't want to be at the house I'm at. It's just my girl's going through something. I got to be there for her primarily. And that was dumb. But it is what it is. You live and you learn, right? So she leaves, has all her stuff packed. It's middle of the night, right? It's the middle of the night. I pack up and put all my stuff in the car with her. And told my mom, sorry, I got a damn fly in here. And told my mom that I had an opportunity, something going on. I had an apartment, something out of the city or something. I was gonna go set that up and everything. I was gonna be good. I don't know how she didn't know I was lying, but whatever. I wasn't in a family that asked questions. So now we living in the car. We was living in the car, and that's just what we did for a little while. Up until she went back home. Now, for you, this is like, okay, well, yeah, she went back home a couple times. Okay, cool, whatever. But the problem is, I done lied to my mama, and I'm not a person that goes back on my lies. So I had to stay in the car while she went back home. So now I'm in a situation that I put myself in from being loyal. And that went on for a long time, and it was bad. My life hit an all-time low. So skip forward. We were still together. We had been together for about a year at this time. And Mary ends up getting pregnant. I had no job. I didn't have nothing at the time. She ends up getting pregnant. I was happy at the fact that she was pregnant. But I was not happy in the relationship because at that specific time, a lot of problems had started kicking up between me and her, and me and her were kind of drifting apart. So, mind you, again, I'm living in the car. She's in her house. All right? So, a point came where she's pregnant. I need to figure out something. I ain't got nothing going on. I can't go back home. So I bite the bullet. I try going back home. It worked for a couple days. Me and my mom got into it. She kicked me out. It was kind of a petty situation to me still till this day, even though me and her have talked about it and you know, all of that. But I think, you know, it was kind of it was just a bitter situation. But now I'm kicked out. I have nowhere to go. So my only option is I got a grandmother and grandparents in another city about an hour and a half from where I was at. So I got to go stay with them. I ain't have nowhere else to stay. So now I got a pregnant girl, nowhere to stay, no job, no nothing. And now I got to relocate to a whole nother city away from my pregnant girl, which is comfortably in her home with her parents now. So after I move in with my grandparents, that doesn't go particularly well either. I ended up wasting a whole lot of time there trying to make something happen, but nothing was really happening. Me and Mary was still together, but things were rocky. It was rocky. I had a lot of suspicions that she was messing around with somebody else because I had caught her texting another guy before. And then it was just a lot of suspicious stuff going on. I even had people calling me, telling me certain things. But anyway, it was a lot of suspicious things going on. And I remember one day she called me and she said she couldn't do it no more. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She said she can't do it no more. I'm like, what you mean you want to break up? And she wanted to break up. So up until that point, my goal was to try to get a job, get an apartment, something for us to, you know, be stable. Neither one of us had anything really going on. Nothing was happening. And I don't know if she found somebody else. I don't know. I don't know what was what, but she broke it off. My daughter, at that point, was a newborn baby. She couldn't talk. And after she broke it off, after Mary broke it off, I started to get treated like just some dude that she had a baby with. And how my mind rationalized that was, okay, my daughter can't talk, so I can't talk to my daughter and really influence my daughter to see what's going, like, I can't do nothing on that end. And the woman that is the mother to my daughter doesn't want me around for no reason. I don't know. So I get an opportunity to move to Atlanta and start a new life there. Now I'm conflicted at that moment in time, is because it's like, okay, I have a kid that I can't even see because the mother won't allow me to see her. I don't really want to take it to court because I don't feel like the court systems ever make anything better, especially in those type of situations, because of the fact that when you have a situation where the mother of a child hates the father, especially when there's no reason, there's not much a court can do. There's no point in forcing us to do anything. She's not willing to be cordial. I'm trying to be cordial, but she's not willing to be cordial. And every time I call, I got tired of just hearing how bad of a person I was. And I'm this, I'm that. And truth be told, I never did nothing. If you look back on the story, I made a decision to look out for somebody and be loyal. And that decision bit me in the ass. And that also put me in an even worse position after she went back home, which then caused a snowball effect in my life. So, how am I at fault? Besides the fact that I should have been watching who I had a baby with. So, back onto the current. So, I ended up moving to Atlanta. And I was in Atlanta for 5-6 years. During that time, I called, even though my daughter could not speak to me, and I was met with aggression and hostility from her mother, and I got tired of that. I got tired of being treated like I was just some dog for no reason. I ain't cheat on nobody. I didn't put my hands on nobody. I didn't do nothing. So I didn't feel like I should have been treated like that. So I left the situation alone. If you don't want me around, you don't want my daughter to be around her daddy, I can't force nothing. And the court system ain't gonna do nothing. It's not gonna make it no better. So 5-6 years go by. 7-8 years go by. And now we're here. To now where I own 2 businesses. I'm doing very well for myself. But there is a person that has a child of mine that refuses to, well, now I can't even locate her. So I don't even know where she is. But it's the same perception to me. I don't see how, if I take it to court, yeah, I could take it to court, but that's not gonna make it no better. Only thing that's needed is for her to just want to be cordial. And I halfway think this whole thing was a scam. Like, the whole relationship was a scam. Like, it was just a waste of time. But out of this whole thing, I got a daughter, and I was happy to be a daddy, but I just fell on some bad times. Trying to look out for her. And it's hard because somewhere out there is a little girl with no daddy or a stepdaddy, I don't know, that don't have her real daddy in her life, and she don't know that her daddy wanted to be there, but her mama didn't want me to be there. I just think it's unfair, man. Like, because as a man, you get called a deadbeat. But what about the guys that I wanted to be there? I did not want to make this video. I wanted to be there, and I still want to be there. But I feel like with the situation being her mother not wanting me around, and my family not getting along with her family, and things like that, and certain things that transpired into some street shit. I would damn near have to go to prison just to be able to see my daughter. And even then I wouldn't be able to see her because I'd be in prison. I'm not going to elaborate on why, but like I said, certain things turned into street shit. So it's tough. It's hard because I want to be a father. I pride my life on being able to take care of a family, and that's what I want to do. But when you have situations like this where you have a baby with somebody and they don't want you to be around, what do you do as a man? What do you do? What do you do when the woman don't want you to be around and I don't want to take it to court? Because what is the court going to do? Force us to be around each other? When she hates me for nothing, which then causes me to hate her because she should be thanking me. If you don't know why, listen to the story I just told. It's one of my biggest fears is one day seeing my daughter grown up and she listens to her mother about when it comes to me, which I don't know what's being said. I know that certain people I know have told me that her mother has been putting out some bad stuff, bad information that's not true, and nobody believes them. But still, why put out rumors? I'm a person I slept in a car with this woman when she didn't want to be at home when we were young. I gave up my home to go sleep in a car with her and got stuck. So I'm a little confused on how all of that turned into now she don't want me around to be a father to my daughter. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna post this video. If I do, then y'all can give me y'all opinions in the comments. But it's rough. This something I never talked about before, but I believe in transparency, so we have to get it out. I hope that one day I can see my daughter and I can let her know that her daddy didn't abandon her. I can't. Back up, back up, back up, back up. Back up, back up, back up, back up.